Welcome everyone, it is January 4th, 1942, and we're back with another episode of Yamamoto's Folly. Hopefully today we won't run a squadron of destroyer minesweepers into a minefield, but we'll see. Anything can happen. That's the beauty of war in the Pacific. This little cruiser group cleans up another one of these little ships that are fleeing toward Sorayaba. And again, another little guy. Little patrol craft, little AVPs, not very valuable point-wise, but all these ships that can be used in some way for escort duty. It's always nice to take care of them. In the beginning of the war, the Allies in Focus Pacific, probably a little less so, but in stock definitely, they're low on escorts, and it's not till really more start coming in the form of, say, Fletchers in June, that they really get enough escorts to cover everything adequately. So the more that I can take out, the better. Now, this little AVP, I don't think it has any ASW value, but they are useful to slapping them into a dot hex and putting some float planes there for some coverage outside of your main base hexes. Alright, I-6 does a number on AK Caster, 2 torpedo hits in this AK, not an XAK, a military transport, so that's great news. Many of those can upgrade to AKAs later, which are amphibious military transports that have more of a bonus to offload. The more I can take out now, the better. Oh, another ASW attack here. Luckily, this one doesn't connect. It's outside of Osthaven there. And Yubari decides to pay a visit to... where is this? Palmyra, that's right. So after it paid a visit to Johnston Island, it said, hey, let's swing down and let's see what's happening at Palmyra. And what happens is we sink an AG and an AK. Is that the same one we put 2 torpedoes in previously? It may have been. Any case, yeah, good job, Yubari. Just doing a little rating here. Hopefully what this does is it will force him to move his sea lanes of communication further to the east, making it a longer route for him to move anything, say, to Australia or to Guadalcanal, etc., etc. Oh, and finally we have some action off the west coast of the United States, putting 2 torpedoes in an AP. Again, really valuable transport ship. Not necessarily in point value, but in effectiveness. These APs, like the AKs, they upgrade to APAs and are a really key part of the Allies' amphibious power in 1943 and beyond. So, good day for subs today, it looks like. Just as Sonya's going after that port, he still has the demons there. I'm going to keep this up, and the reason I'm going to keep this up, even though I lose a Sonya and I don't have any gain, is I'm tying up at least 1 squadron of CW-21B demons on Nightcap, which means when I sweep, they're not going to be there in the daytime. Which is going to help me out quite a bit. The CW-21B Demons honestly are some of the best aircraft in this theater of the war. In Focus Pacific, the aircraft use the advertised stats of the CW-21B Demon, which are a little bit better than the performance numbers were in the war. The idea being that in Focus Pacific, they worked out the kinks when it came to the aircraft, and it's a nice little interceptor. Great climb rate. Alright, so Torpedo in the XIP Largest Bay. Large transport ship, it looked like. Large liner. It's great news. Maybe we can finish off with air attacks today. I have quite a few submarines at Akyab right now. Okay, onto the air phase. Lots of subs around Sambus as usual. And we're sweeping Rangoon, taking out a Warhawk. Sweeping Quingchowan, sweeping Osthaven, and bombing Nanchang. Swamp Hex here. Good damage. Yeah, 27 disabled squads. For combat squads, 37 non-combat. Great air attack. We're using our Lizzes here, as well as some Bettys, and a good raid altogether. Well escorted, and pretty good coordination. Total of about 100 aircraft. Attack aircraft, plus about 50 escorts, so I'm happy with that. Following up, doing a little more damage here. More sweeping, and another Warhawk down. He gets lots of Warhawk replacements. His P-40E replacement rates are crazy, something like 90 aircraft a month, plus he has P-40E B replacements through, I think, gosh, March, or if not April. So it's important that I keep putting pressure on his pools, so to speak, not letting those build up too much, because pretty soon things are going to get really dicey in the air for me. My Zeros, I'm not building enough of them to deal with attrition. Oscars are not that great of an aircraft, and again, I'm not building all that many of them. I do have some good Tojo pools right now, and I'll have to switch more squadrons over, but right now in the air, he's getting P-40E replacements, P-40B replacements, he's getting P-38 Es, which are a really nice aircraft. He's starting to get, I believe, P-39 Airacobras, and I think he's getting P-43 Lancers by this time as well. So he has a lot of different airframes, and that's just USAAF, right? A lot of different airframes. On the British side, he's starting to get lots of Hurricane replacements starting in January. So I have a lot of different. He has a lot of different aircraft from a lot of different nations that he has good replacement rates on. So it's important that I keep destroying his aircraft. Otherwise, he's going to be able to overwhelm me very easily, and at least put pressure on these individual squadrons. Sorry, that was a lot of talking there. Continue to bomb Nanchang. 92 sallies. Actually, total of about 120 sallies. And again, great damage. Anytime I see hundreds of casualties, I'm happy with a ground attack, because they are not always that successful. Swamp terrain is easy to bomb in, however. Ooh, this isn't good. I still haven't dealt with the cap. I think it might be flying from Davao, because it's not flying from Cagayan, it's not flying from Cotabato. So I think it's coming from Davao, which has an airfield as well. So we're going to have to turn some attention to that hex and see where those fighters are flying from. So we can bomb that airfield too. It's been a while since we visited Quingchowan Airfield, so we're seeing what's up, and what's up is some damaged planes on the ground now. Also, I want to keep that damage high in the Quingchowan Airfield, because I am sending a ground unit to take the hex, and it'll be a little bit of a tough nut to crack anyway. There's some good French troops there. And I believe he also moved the Chinese force from Pakhoi to Quingchowan as well, so I just want to be real careful with it and make sure he's not building up forts there. sweep Chainsaw, take out a H-81A3. No damage to that unit right there. I think it's not an open terrain anymore. So I did manage to extract my units from Nanning, which is important because they were outnumbered there and weren't making any progress. And I think I'll be able to catch this unit right here and, if not destroy it, at least weaken enough so it's not going to be able to be a threat to my bases here. Because like I said, I don't have any ground units here. I just have some base forces. I don't have any infantry or anything like that in this area right now. I can rail something up from Camera Bay if I'm desperate, but I don't really want to. I'd rather use those units for amphibious assaults. Now there's a chance that if he does enter Indochina, now he's trying to bomb Chainsaw. It looks like I have good cap over the Hex for once, but again, these bombers get through for whatever reason. I'm just not able to destroy these bombers, and I do take some casualties. There's a chance, and I'm not really sure on the game mechanics. I really should look it up. There's a chance if he actually did enter Indochina that it would actually spawn replacements for my troops. I don't know if that's true. I shouldn't say replacements. It'll spawn kind of reserve units for me. Like I said, I'm not sure if that's true or not. I don't know the mechanics of it. I really should. I just haven't dealt with this situation before. A Chinese player that might enter Indochina. However, it looks like he's actually moving back up to the northeast, so I'm probably not going to have to worry about it. Catalina's trying to go to shipping at Sama. We fend them off. Sweeping again at Osthaven. And bombing some more at Nanchang, this time destroying some squads outright, which is always good. And some more disabled. I honestly don't know why we are sweeping this hex. I'm going to have to look to see why we did that. It's really strange. One of the disadvantages of this game for me is that when we're flipping turns, Piratejoe gets the turns to me, I'm sure at a very reasonable time of the day in his time zone, but it's usually very, very late for me. So when I'm playing a lot of these turns, I can barely keep my eyes open, and so I'll make these stupid mistakes, and I'm like, oh man, I shouldn't have done that. And I can't blame it all on me being tired, but a lot of it is me being so tired that I'm not paying attention to the details as much as I should. And if you haven't figured it out already, for those who haven't played the game yourselves, War in the Pacific, absolutely a game about a lot of details. It's really the appeal of the game, is details. Alright, onto the PM air phase. Maybe I won't monologue so much during the second one. Oh, so he does have some cap over Akyab now. However, Nels do get through. He just had one aircraft on cap, so probably be more following it. I imagine they just moved in there and they'll need to reconstitute or whatever, or he might have dropped them off just now. I'm not sure. But we do put a bomb on the Maldives. Largs Bay, that might have been the AP that we put a torpedo in earlier. On fire, heavy damage, but not sunk yet. Betty's going after this surface group here, and unfortunately aren't able to hit it. More Mabel's going after Guangzhouan. Let me lose one to flak, unfortunately, but we do destroy a 167 F bomber on the ground. And another one is destroyed. Good. And another one. More bombing of Changsha. Still going after this Cotabato runway. And we destroy a Warhawk on the ground. Damage a Catalina and a couple of Liberators at Cebu. Really is like playing whack-a-mole in the Philippines with all these different air bases. Mavis has come in. Do connect with a bomb on the AK Maldive. Betty's again, probably not going to hit these cruisers. Nope. And that's it for the air phase. We're on to the ground attack phase. My first deliberate attack at Clark. Probably going to go poorly for me. The first attack on these bases usually does not go super well. He shouldn't have super high forts. I don't expect them to be any higher than 4 because I have bombed Clark so much and prevented that from happening. But so far we haven't really seen... I'm seeing a lot of losses on my side. I'm not seeing a lot of losses on his end. They go a little bit. So yeah, so probably not going to be a great result for me. I'm just hoping that we reduce forts, and we do. We reduce forts to 1, which is awesome news. And the fact that we got a 1-1 result on our first attack, that's a really good sign. Still, we take a lot of casualties here. 16 destroy squads, 304 disabled, lose a lot of vehicles, 17, lose 10 guns. He does lose more guns, and he does lose more destroyed squads, so that's good. I will have to rest, let some of those disabled squads recover, and then we'll try again. But all in all, I'm happy with that result. Again, getting a 1-1 on my first attack at Clark. I'm happy with having the forts already down to 1. I'm also really happy with. Alright. I also deliberately attacked south of Cyan here. These are those beat-up groups that I had chased out before, but now they're in really good terrain. So we're going to see how it goes. Why it being a 1-1? It's because of that damn terrain. So it doesn't go as well as I hoped it would. Casualties are kind of a wash between the two. Shows you how much terrain can make a difference from that clear terrain of Nanyang to this wooded rough terrain south of Cyan. I'd hoped that we'd be able to brush these troops aside a little bit easier, but doesn't look like the case. You know, we were so close to a 2-1, and if we had, I think we could have done it. So maybe next time. Maybe next time. Shock attack here on the rail line, just trying to get rid of these pesky units that started back here that have kind of hung around and have been blocking the rail line, and both of the units are destroyed. That's both good and bad. The good thing is, hey, they're not a problem anymore. The bad news is they're just going to reappear at Chongqing in about 35 days. Attack deliberately up here in these mountains, and pretty conclusively beat these units back off the rail line here. This is another kind of group that I'll kind of run along here to try to get to Cyan and on a different route. And I'm bombarded again at Loyang. Again, I'm almost ready to go ahead and take the plunge and try to deliver attack here again. Yeah, good results for me again. Another 15 squads destroyed. And I now have the AV to do it. Before I had like 1800 AV, now I have 2200. So we're going to go ahead and deliberately attack next turn. I destroy the PAF Aviation Force that started its life down here, and it retreated here. It's gone now, so really in Luzon, the only things I have left to capture, of course, are Clark and Bataan, and this little hex up here. Is that San Jose? I forget. Take Malacca on the Malayan Peninsula. And he attacks me deliberately at Changsha, which may go poorly for him. We'll see. Actually, may go really well for him, because I took a lot of losses last turn. I was thinking Nanchang, but Changsha, this may hurt. This may hurt. My armored regiments are down to nothing, as you can see. Starting off with 0 AV. Good chance I could be kicked out of the Hex today. Really, the 104th Division is the only thing with any active AV. 6th Division has a tiny bit. Yeah, 4-to-1 odds. This is going to be nasty. Yeah, not good for me. Not good for me at all. He takes more destroyed squads. But I lose more vehicles, lose more guns. Yeah, not great. Not great at all. And he also attacks me at Xinyang. He has a lot of AV here. Look at all these groups. And look how high some of these groups are too. 520, lots of 300s. In Focus Pacific, like I said before, Chinese disablements aren't quite as high as they are in stock, which means these core have a lot more AV starting off. Makes them a little more formidable. Actually, a lot more formidable. So if you see that I'm not just traipsing over China, that's why. Yeah, definitely taking some losses here. Look at these divisions kind of evaporate on my end. It is a 1-to-2 attack, which is good. Does not lower my forts, which is good. Started out with 3,800 AV, wow. But yeah, losses are definitely in my favor. 473, 1,033 squads disabled on his end, so yeah. That may have almost evened up the AV, that attack right there. I do lose 53 squads, which isn't great, but better than 473, I suppose. And that looks like it for the turn. So, not as disastrous as yesterday, that's for sure. And really good day for subs today, I felt like. Okay, so let's take a quick look here. Like I said, lots of subs around Akyab. I'll send some more of those to Akyab right now while he has ships in harbor. Like I said, I like operating my subs in groups, and you can kind of see that. It's not really a wolf pack, because they're not in the same task force, but these kind of concentrations where they can all hit a hex at the same time seems to be really effective for me. Let's take a look at some other places here. So I moved my carriers kind of down and out here. I decided not to pursue him down, not to pursue this group down there. It looks like he has a carrier group here. I don't really want to mess with that. It could be a carrier group, but it says Fighter 0, Bomber 0. Those could be other ships that are misidentified. I don't know. In any case, I don't want to deal with it right now. I'm not. These smaller carrier task forces are not ones that I really want to have a carrier engagement with. With all these CVLs, I just don't have the weight of aircraft that the full KB does. So instead, we're going to move away, and we'll come back for Port Moresby at a later date. See what's happening around Wake. Not much, which is good. It's going to allow us to, again, pick up these forces, take them away, and a base force, I think in about 10 days, will appear automatically at Wake Island for us. So, Palmyra, I hit that with a couple ships, destroyed his stuff there. I noticed he also has some stuff at, where was it? Canton Island, in one of my naval searches the other day, so I may pay a visit to Canton Island as well, see what he has going on there. Still making progress south slowly but surely in Malaya. Singapore is going to be a tough nut to crack. I have not bombed it at all, so it's had plenty of time to build up forts. There's plenty of supply in Singapore, so it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be a tough nut to crack. We'll see when I take it. We'll see. Hopefully I can take it in January. If I take it in January, I'll count it as a success. And really low expectations here. Okay, so he has moved a blocking unit here north of Pegu, which means that I need to change these guys to combat mode so they don't cross the river in move mode, because that would be disastrous. Okay. And it looks like they'll be crossing next turn. It's clear terrain there, so I also need to bomb the hell out of it before they cross that river. Okay, talking to myself here, sorry guys. I think that's about it. Let's take a quick look at losses for the day. Ship sunk. Yeah, good day for subs, good day for my surface task forces. The Yubari is being awesome, just that little cruiser operating independently, getting some kills. Take out AP, AG, and AK, and those two little Dutch ships in the Celebes. Let's look at air losses. And pretty low, 8 and 18. Higher losses than I'd like. 2 of those, Mabel, Flak. Good news is we only lose 4 zeros, and we're producing about 8 a turn, so we finally have a net gain in zeros. Let's look at our placement pool on zeros. So we produced 9 this turn, which is good. So we gain a 5 aircraft, but still we have a shortage of about 280 that we need replacements through all our zero squadrons. So at that rate, it's going to take a full, gosh, what is that? That's insane. It's going to take a really long time, over 2 months, well over 2 months to replace all those losses. Yeah. Still need to increase zero production more. I think once all is said and done, we'll be producing about 20 zeros a turn, which may seem like a lot, but we are playing on realistic research and production off, which means that I can then convert a lot of those factories to research factories if I need to. And that's what we'll do once a lot of these zero factories are fully prepared and we have good zero pools. We'll switch them all over to start down the path to get to the A6 M8, which would be fantastic. In any case, I've talked for long enough today. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the Discord. Take care, everyone.